There is an expectation that people who are from historically marginalized identities in our society will help to drive the work forward internally in our organizations, and that is a lot of burden. What we've built here is the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Accelerator. Brought together 54 education-based organizations in the sector to get to the place where their organizations are in fact diverse, and then to create a plan for this coming year as to what specific things can they drive forward progress on in their organizations.
It's not sufficient to simply say that your organization doesn't support or condone racist practices. In theory, really should be automatic. If you really want to increase equity and reduce disparities, you have to proactively make an effort.
What do we hope to see organizations achieve? How diverse is their leadership? How inclusive are they? Are they really bringing people's voice to the table? And
we need those diverse perspectives on the team.
We're talking about white dominant culture and what it means and how it shows up.
We have a really long way to go in terms of inclusion and in terms of equity.
It's real, right? And generally speaking, this is a generalization, but generally speaking, as white people, we suck at talking about race.
This is important work. Capacity building is important work.
Racism as a system. So if race is a social construct, racism is a system, how does this align or not with your orgs? We're only going to spend one day.
Really actually need to examine the white dominant culture and the impact it has on myself and my colleagues of color, but in particular, having white folks examine what that looks like for them and how they've been taught to perpetuate that. It's time to interrupt it.
And then think about, for each of those groups, what pushback or challenges might come up.
Building a network of people who understand what you're going through, and then together creating solutions and understanding for you to really drive, again, the change that we want to see is what I'm ultimately here for.
Excited, I don't know, I'm just overjoyed. I can't share that enough.
In these moments of facilitation, there can be moments of discomfort.
How did you come to the table and say, we're going to go into New York City or Chicago and we're going to create change, and the people that I'm going to bring to the table with me look absolutely nothing like the people that I'm going to bring change for?
I other you, and I distance myself from you as a white person.
And then you try to bring it on the table, and we all took it back off the table, because that's how we've been trained.
So I just want to put that out for the room, that when we do step out and say something and we address it, that is part of the work.
And those moments of discomfort are so important. Again, that's really where the work happens, because it's in a space of risk that our perspective can be changed.
When you can't tell the story of how everyone in this country contributes to the greatness of this country in real terms, when you can't tell that story, then all we're left to understand that only one group has to earn the keep here.
Because if you are defining someone by the thing that is the least dignifying experience of their life or the lowest moment of their life, you have to accept that you are stigmatizing that person. And it's much easier for us to build on the values that we share than to figure out who's the good guy and who's the bad guy and how we can denigrate and vilify the left or the right without even bothering to get to know the people we're talking about.
Continuing to challenge and push people to look for the ways in which we are unintentionally recreating the systems and habits and behaviors and cultures that are working at odds with what we're trying to do in a way that is challenging and pushing, but also embracing and empathetic and supportive and gracious. You know, if we don't fix this, we just continue to perpetuate failure, and that is so just fundamentally not okay.
All people are worthy of respect.
All people are worthy of respect.
And that even if